modern architecture. Modern architecture. Very important, especially for the mains. Limelight lo undi. Modern architecture. Okay, the ancient Indian history, if you witness, the ancient Indian history is completely consisting of own elements. That means indigenous elements. Completely. No foreign elements. No foreign elements. If you take Jain temples, what are the name used for the Jain temples? Jain temples are known as Basadis, exactly. Jain temples are known as Basadis. If you take Buddhist architecture also, especially the stupa, the chaityas, the viharas, and next the Indian temple architecture, the cave architecture, even you see the structural altars, all are consisting of our own indigenous elements, and especially ancient Indian history. If you talk about medieval Indian history, introduction of foreign elements started. Introduction of foreign elements, especially Islamic elements. Especially Islamic elements, also known as Persian elements. So the foreign elements introduction started during the medieval Indian history. When it comes to modern architecture, again you will witness the foreign influence. Okay, so answer should be like this. Modern architecture ante modern architecture ayadu. Introduction ప్రతి దానికి ఉండాలి. ఏ క్వశ్చన్ కైనా ఇంట్రడక్షన్, బాడీ, కంక్లూజన్ అండ్ వే ఫార్వర్డ్. సో మోడర్న్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అంటే మోడర్న్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ కాదు, ఇట్లా కొంచెం ఇంట్రడక్షన్ ఇవ్వాలి. సో ద ఏన్షియంట్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఆర్ కన్సిస్టింగ్ ఆఫ్ ఇండిజినియస్ ఎలిమెంట్స్, నో ఫారెన్ ఎలిమెంట్స్. Even you cannot witness even the traces of any foreign elements. Complete indigenous elements. When it comes to medieval Indian history, for the first time introduction of the foreign elements, Islamic elements, and particularly Persian elements in a massive way. In a massive way. Okay, to be frank, the majority of the buildings in India in the medieval Indian history is composed of, consisting of foreign elements only. The dome, the minarets, the spacious buildings, the charbagh style garden. Okay, so all these, the jali works, the pitradura work, all these things are nothing but the foreign elements, especially the Persian elements. Then what about the modern Indian architecture? This is also, now India also witnessed the foreign influence. Foreign influence consisting of foreign influence. Okay, all the, and especially which foreign influence? The European influence. The European influence. The European influence. What kind of Europeans? You see the Portuguese, Dutch, Danes, next British, and of course the French. The common thing is all they constructed are the factories. Factories initially. All European advance, all European, advances of Europeans are first they constructed the factories. They started their construction with the factories, all the things, no exception. Portuguese, Dutch, Danes, British, French. Okay, all those are constructed the factories. There is no any public kind of buildings. There is no any public kind of buildings. Okay, and this modern architecture, apart from factories, they constructed modern buildings, and especially the Portuguese. Influence. Next, French influence. Portuguese influence, French influence. Next one, of course, the British influence. So these Europeans' influence showed in the construction of the buildings. I am talking about modern Indian history architecture. So let's getting into the details. Apart from the factories are constructed by all the Europeans, including the Dutch and the Danes also, who just stayed in India for a few years. So the Portuguese influence and the French influence and the British influence, they are all consisting of what? They introduced the European influence. They mainly consisting of European influence.